Um, right, I've been told to envisage you all naked to get over my nervousness. Thank God my mum sat at the back. 640K ought to be enough for anybody. Anybody know who said that? Bill Gates. Do you know when he said it? 1981, allegedly. There is a bit of confusion over whether he said it or not. He denies it strenuously that he ever said such a phrase. I think it'd be pretty stupid to say so, but just obviously to tech kids, I don't need to explain. It's all about how much memory a computer has. But to me, this was the birth of the modern personal computing revolution. I bought my first computer in 1981. It was a Texas Instruments TI-99 4A with a speech synthesizer that I used to make say fuck a lot. But the point of the slide for me was this is a punctuation in time. This is in most of our lifetimes, this stuff has happened. And I just find that absolutely astonishing. In the last 30 years, technology has enabled so much of our life. So my talk today is all about timing. So to state the bleeding obvious, I think you need 5 things in business. You need a cracking idea, you need some cash, you need some skill, you need some skillful people to work with you, and the extra elements are timing and luck. Now, I couldn't think of a more fitting symbol than the luckiest man I know, Keith Richards. How the hell is he still alive? But the subject of my talk is very much around timing and the African timing, South African timing, and opportunity. For me, as an outsider, I came to this country 18 months ago and absolutely fell in love with Cape Town. And I've traveled around a bit, and what an amazing country. But there's something happening timing-wise now that I'm sure is obvious to you guys, but to me, it was a bit of a shock. You guys have got a massive opportunity, so I just wanted to kind of focus my 15 minutes on that. As Rob so very kindly pointed out, I was in a boy band many, many moons ago. Did we use the same tailor today? I'll call you next time. I wanted to just, I don't want to be too self-indulgent, but I want to give you a quick précis on where I came from commercially and personally, because I think that will really position the rest of my talk. But I put it on auto timer so I don't waffle on forever. So in 1.5 minutes or less, moved to Cape Town 18 months ago, fell in love with the place. I don't know if you can see those at the top. Obviously climbing, doing the vineyards, climbing Table Mountain, done the Argus twice. Before then, that's my favorite place in London. Those who've been, that's Waterloo Bridge facing east. Great place to be at night if you're on a romantic evening out. Strictly Social, mothballed this business last year. Social media fulfillment house. We would do the social media for big agencies to brands, put that on hold for a while. So amped, we would amplify offline events online. So also mothballed that, not doing much with that. The Engine Room, which is the next one that's coming up. There you go, IT services, consultancy, sold that business last year, threw everything away, broke everything, left the UK and came to Cape Town. And with those businesses, I reckon we probably did about those and the ones that I managed, maybe 70 million bucks, something like that. And we worked with 300 or so small and medium-sized businesses and a whole bunch of corporates, of which I've just plopped a few up there. Traveled the world, big motorbike head, love motorbikes. I do a lot of charity work. I work for a charity called Winston's Wish, which is a bereavement charity for kids. That was us raising money in a rally. I went to Texas. They give you a machine gun. You can shoot a machine gun. Learned to fly a helicopter to get over my fear of flying. Did some property developing before that. Still got some of that going on. Worked with Involve as a tech director, internal communications agency, lovely business in London. Taught people how to use computers at Virgin Atlantic. And then before then, I did all my super duper pretty boy stuff when I was about 20 kilos ago and a few lines and a few grey hairs. So I just wanted to give you within the context of timing, I wanted to just give you a quick kind of overview of where I fit now. And I guess the 2 red lines are really where I broke things and broke bad patterns. I got out of a band I hated. I can't sing and I can't dance. What the hell was I doing in a band? And the top line, moving to Cape Town, I sold everything, gave it all away, stopped doing the same old shit, get rid of it, broke it, and landed here with 2 bags and went, right, what am I going to do now? I still haven't found anything, but we'll come on to that in a second. So just in the context of timing, Three key lessons. Now, I'm turning into a bit of a grumpy old man, so I could have filled this board up with a whole bunch of key lessons from those 20 years. But my first one is we only know we exist because we interact with others. So make every interaction as loving and as giving and as authentic as you bloody well can. Just make it real. There's so much bullshit out there. Make it real. Define your unique ability. These might be obvious to a lot of you as well. I'm really shit with money. I've lost my shirt twice, and I've been exceptionally wealthy twice. Now I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm really bad with cash. I give everything to do with cash to somebody else. You manage my money. I'm obviously not trustworthy in that department. Define your unique ability and just do that. In business, I find entrepreneurs are very good at trying to do everything. They want to be the big man and the big ego in every area. Learn when to drop the ego, give that stuff away to somebody who you know is smarter and brighter than you. This is a bit of a cheap one. Everyone says be passionate. I guess what I wanted to highlight is don't be so passionate around the service or the widget that you sell. Be passionate around the business that services that service or widget. So I just wanted to make a clear distinction between people falling in love with what they do or people falling in love with how they do what they do. So, tech. I wanted to have a quick look back. I figured the best way to look forward is to have a quick scoot back into history and look at what technology has affected our lives. So looking at the old stuff, we've got nuclear power, came out in 56, first email, 71, cell phone was invented in 73, the IBM personal computer, I think that was 81, CD, 82, Windows version 1.01, 85, World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee, I think he built his first web server in 90, Photoshop, 90, Amazon.com, this is more about e-commerce and rather than just Amazon as itself. 96, ADSL 96, GPS 96, LTD screens 96, Wikipedia 2001, Skype 03, cloud. Some of these are quite hard to define to exact date, so please, if I've got something clangingly wrong, let me know, but you have to kind of give me a little bit of leeway. Cloud, I reckon, was defined kind of mid-noughties. And social media, obviously everyone here tweeting and Facebooking and emailing their mums. iPhone 2006 and the iPad 2010. I didn't want to get too Apple-tastic there, but I think the popularization of a new format of machine is quite important. So I want to have a quick flick through in a history of technical time, and this is the exciting shit. This is the really, really good stuff. This is where we stop talking about the content of technology and we start talking about the context and how we apply it into our lives. And it's changed everything, hasn't it? It's turned so many industries upside down. It's turned music industry, books, more e-books are sold than real books. Publishing changed massively. Telecommunications, retail, who doesn't go into a shop and then see if it's cheaper online? Airline industry, housing, I mean, I could go on. These are just the ones that I figured were literally flipped upside down almost overnight in such a short period of time. Okay, so my key learnings from that kind of looking back and writing this presentation, my key learnings are that the internet is coming, South Africa, Africa, globally it's coming, whether we like it or not. Tech now does what it says on the tin. I remember not so long ago, you'd have to maybe give up some functionality if you wanted to buy a laptop over a desktop. You'd be thinking, oh, I can't do video editing or audio on that. Now tech just pretty much does what it says on the tin. Form factors are relevant, type of connectivity. I don't really care if it's mobile or landline or however you're getting your connectivity. Connectivity is now connectivity. And it's super cheap. I bought a clone iPad from China for $40. I'm allowed to say that, right? We're hyper-connected. Two key things come out of hyper-connection for me. There's the awareness piece. We're learning. We're growing all the time. We're constantly plugged in. Now, I'm not going to go into the negative aspects of that. There's issues around privacy and also around some of the bullshit that is now becoming truth on the internet. But the awareness, the ability to learn and stay so connected with other human beings is just unbelievable. Transparency. I put up there no affairs, boys. That's probably reverse sexist maybe, but so transparent. If a brand does something, what was the name of that FHM model that did something silly over the weekend? I can't remember who she was, but this kind of stuff, I mean, I think that was blown slightly out of proportion, but this kind of stuff is just, we're completely transparent. If a brand does something wrong now, you know it. You just don't buy that product. You don't touch that brand. So we can create shift. We can create shift efficiently, quickly, and without conflict. And the key here for me is we can build businesses that create change. All of us in this room, we can now make massive shifts. We can now make massive change with technology as the facilitator. Okay, so looking forwards, before we go into like the future tech and what I think are going to be prevalent technologies of the future, I wanted to just highlight a few of the blockers that I've come across. Some are South African specific, some are kind of more global, but that we've got some issues. We've got some issues to consider or to get over. We've got this stupid economy that's based on infinite growth and resources. Something's got to change. I don't know. We're just kind of blindly going on without thinking about how we change this. Money, I don't know if it's the same so much in South Africa as it is in the UK, but anyone with money is just a little bit evil, twisting their moustache and conniving how they can steal it from the poor people. There's nothing wrong with money. Money's not evil. It's what you do with it that counts. A political party's only real mandate is re-election. Sidestep government, maneuver away, or learn how to deal with them properly. How can any government do any good if their only real mandate is to get re-elected? All they're going to do is please us because then we vote for them. And sometimes they have to make tough decisions. So there's something to do in that space, and I'm sure technology can facilitate that. We ask people to care when they can't afford to eat. Why would I care about anything else but food on my family's table? And the developed world is in a huge debt crisis. We are such stupid, greedy dicks. Absolute idiots. So a few blockers, a few issues that we've got to consider, and I do believe that the businesses that are being built in this room can cope with some of those issues. So moving forwards, we've got, I don't really understand why we don't use video enough online. I think it's because it's maybe it exposes too much of us. We're willing to write, we're willing to post pictures on Instagram and tools like this, but we don't use much in the way of video. Maybe someone can invent something smarter way of using video. This isn't just about the demise of Facebook, which I dare say is only a few years off, but it's more about social commerce. Social commerce, I think, and Facebook as the driver of social commerce is going to create such a change that it's going to change social, and it's going to make it a bit more ugly or itchy or sticky. Voice control. Why am I still using a keyboard and mouse on my computer? Crazy. One screen in your house. Why have we got loads of different screens? One feeding everything. I'm sure that's on the horizon. Ubiquitous web. Everyone connected most people connected all of the time. I'm sure that's only around the corner. Cloud computing. Slightly more dumb terminals. Everything stored, all processing going on in the cloud. We just have one device. I think that's going to happen. Mind control. Why can't I think it and it just happen? Why can't I get the data as I need it? Babel fish walk into a country, don't know the language, speak, translates, they talk, translates back. Self-healing hardware and software. Why are we still using paper? Surely in the next 10 years, paper will be eradicated. If I can't make a meeting, can I send a virtual hologram or an interactive hologram of myself? Transport is a bit rubbish. Cars, very selfish. 4 seats, just me. Personal transport. Organ replacement, nanotechnology. I think all these things are in our lifetime. Robots are a little bit shit at the moment. They fall over a lot. I'm sure we can do something better. I'm sure that's going to happen in our lifetime. And then some slightly more crazy stuff. Maybe we can transport up and down to different countries using some kind of teletransporter, artificial intelligence, and clean tech. I think within all of our lifetimes in this room, or some of us are older than others, I think we will see a technical revolution in energy. So I've only got a few minutes left. So what about Africa? What about South Africa? And what about what's going on here? How does this affect us? I think the context for the technical revolution, or some businesses that we can build in this room, the context is around education and the creation of opportunity. Obviously, we can't have an educated audience without jobs for them to do or businesses to build. But my sense is, as an outsider, my sense is that if we use that as a context, as a guiding light for the businesses that we create and build in this country, education and opportunity seem to be that key. We get to pretty bunny hop UK and US mistakes. We can see what fails and we can apply it in an African context, and we'll probably miss the second tech bubble burst. And I read this in a book many years ago. There's only 4 types of business in the world: cheaper, better, different, or new. Some smart kids think that you have to be all 4. I'm not massively fussed about the new. Branson didn't bring out the first airline. Google wasn't the first search engine. I'm not massively fussed by that. But cheaper, better, different seem to be quite key guiding lights. I think there are four, like I say, as an outsider, I think there are four specific sectors that I would like to see, and I would like to get involved in businesses in these four specific sectors. Energy. Why isn't Cape Town, with all of its wind, solar, tidal, why isn't this the hub of renewable energy? Renewable energy is rubbish at the moment anyway. Why aren't we doing more of that here? Manufacturing. Why are we pulling stuff out of the ground, shipping it to China, and then buying it back at 5 times the price? It just doesn't make any sense. Let's make stuff here. I think manufacturing has dropped in the last few years down to 11% in this country. It just seems crazy. Education. I do think if you design systems, technical systems, processes, and technologies, we can then ship those to other developing worlds, and we can sell them. So you can make it almost cost neutral and make money. And technology, obviously, a bunch of tech heads in the room. I'm a big tech head. I'd love to get involved in more forums. I think that the technical scene down here is so exciting. There are some super smart people here, and I feel privileged to be part of this community. So please just continue to build, because technology facilitates everything. So it's all about timing, and I just firmly believe this is our time. Thanks for listening.